Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I am Mary Jiang, president of the Oakland Rotary Club. Founded in 1908, we are the third oldest club of some 36,000 clubs in over 200 countries around the world. We are a diverse community of 270 business professionals and community leaders who unite to serve our local and international communities through a commitment of service above self. Thank you for joining us this afternoon at Chapel of the Chimes. Thank you to Ed Braille for allowing us to host our event here this afternoon. And this is our 5,412th meeting and in Chapel of the Chime and online. So because COVID is still somewhat contagious, please, continue to wear your mask if you wish to protect yourself and others. For those attending online, if you are visiting Rotarian or a guest of a Rotarian, please enter your name in the chat box located on the center bottom of the screen so that we can recognize you later. If you have any comments or questions for the speaker, please enter it into the chat box. We recommend you also view today's meeting using speaker view located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Now, for our thought for the day, I welcome Rotarian Rotary Howard.
Hello, my fellow Rotarians, near and far. In honor of our speaker today, I wanted to share a quote on service. And this quote says, "Whoever renders service to many puts himself in line for greatness. Great wealth, great return, great satisfaction, great reputation, and great joy." Dear Ron.
Thank you, Latoya, for that inspiring thought. Now, please join me in reciting the Rotary Vision Statement. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Okay, guests are welcome to visit our club. Past District Governor and past President Ed Jelen. Do we have any visiting Rotarian?
Yeah, thank you, President Mary. I think my job is going to be secure for quite a while because we have a wealth of visiting Rotarians with us here today. I'm going to pass over one visiting Rotarian because I'm going to give a little fuller introduction for our guest of honor a little bit later in the program. But we are happy to have with us a member of the best class of past Rotary presidents from the Rotary Club of Cupertino, our district governor-elect. Please welcome Hung Wei. And then we have some dignitaries online on Zoom, which we're happy to welcome. First, we have Sarah Linda Jackson, who's the Assistant Governor for Area 1. Welcome, Sarah Linda. So nice to have you with us. We have Camilla Belushian, who is our district membership co-chair, and she's also on Zoom. Welcome to Camilla. And she has brought with her a guest, Hannah Malik. So we also welcome Hannah. Nice to have her with us today. And another past governor from the Rotary Club of Cupertino and our district TRF committee chair. Please welcome past Governor Orrin Mahoney. And President Mary, I think we may have some other guests. Visiting Rotarians, I was going to just do, but I can welcome Martha Goralka, who's here with her husband, Joe. Welcome, Martha. Did I miss anybody else who's in the room here? And I think President Mary, I think we have some more visitors online. So I'm going to step aside at this point.
Thank you. Peter, do we have any visitor Rotarian that identify themselves on the chat box?
Yes, President Mary, we definitely do. We have both.
Hearing none? Okay. He is speaking. Can we hear him?
Can you, yes, I am speaking. We have Gudrun Dibdall. And we have John Gressley and also Alan Love from San Ramon Rotary.
Okay, Peter, we can't hear you in here, so I'll repeat it. So we have Gudrun Dibdall, Alan Love visiting from San Ramon Rotary, John Gressley, Warren Mahoney, Cupertino Rotary, and I think, and Iris Brody Lopez.
Iris from Arizona. Okay, so as we know, all members are welcome to join our club and any activities. So today I have the privilege of inducting our 13th new member of the Oakland Rotary Club, with Marlene Sachs and her sponsor, David Stein, join me at the lectern. David, will you? David, can you introduce Marlene with 2 interesting facts about her?
President Mary, excuse me, President Mary, fellow Rotarians and guests, it's my pleasure to introduce Marlene Sachs. Marlene is an employment and education law attorney. She represents schools and community college districts, as well as parents, students, and employees with school employment and education concerns. 2 interesting facts. 1, Marlene previously sued the city of Oakland over violations of Measure Y and police staffing, and has a current lawsuit against the city for illegal contracting and chronic violations of the Public Record Act. Second interesting fact, when she's not spending her time suing the city of Oakland, Marlene loves to travel and has been all over the world hiking and scuba diving, including trips to Yap and Sulawesi. Please give a warm Rotary welcome to our newest Rotarian, Marlene.
Okay, Marlene, stay here. All right. Marlene, welcome to the Oakland Rotary Club. You're joining 270 Rotarians in our club and over 1.4 million Rotarians throughout the world. Marlene, here's your red badge, which signifies that your status as a new member. You will also receive the 4-way test, which guide Rotarians in their daily lives as follows. Okay, 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will build goodwill and better friendship. And 4, will be beneficial to all concerned. You will also receive in this goodie bags a handbook called Rotary Made Easy, which provide useful information about the Rotary Club and a roster of your 270th newest best friends. And with your badge, you have a Rotary pin. And this Rotary pin signifies that you're a member of the Rotary Club internationally. And wherever you go, this pin is recognized and you'll be welcome to any meetings in the world. And when you travel, go seek out a Rotary Club, join their meetings and exchange banners. So that's something. And also, we're going to give you our centennial book written by our very own Rotarian, Linda Hamilton, covering the first 100 years of Rotary history. Your commitment as a new member is to obviously attend meetings, either in person or online, and participate in social service, community service activity, and contribute to the Rotary Foundation and the Oakland Rotary Endowment. It is my pleasure and privilege to induct you as the newest member of the Oakland Rotary Club. Let's give Marlene another warm welcome. All right, great. Bruce Nye, would you tell us about an upcoming community service project that Marlene might want to participate in?
Yes, I will, and I sure hope that for lots of folks. But first, this. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests, both those who are here and those online. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I would like to invite you to a really important community service committee, community service event a week from this coming Saturday, so December 10th from 9 to noon. It is a helpful and important cleanup and weeding assistance event at the Oakland Police Activities League camp on Sunnyside Street here in the Oakland Hills. PAL hosts, PAL as it's known, hosts a variety of outdoor programs for Oakland youth at the Oakland Rotary camp, now known as the PAL camp. It's a wonderful Oakland Hills campsite with cabins, lots of great locations for kids to play, a fire circle, full kitchen and restroom facilities available for youth groups. Working on the cleanup there about 5 years ago was my first Oakland Rotary service activity. I worked with a lot of great people at the time, including who was there was Courtney Ruby and her two sons, and we had a great time doing it. And it was a rewarding event, and it has been ever since. You may be familiar with Wendy Takuda, the longtime host and reporter for KPIX and KRON TV. She and Oakland Rotary have both been longtime major supporters of PAL, and I'd say it's likely that, although not certain, that she's going to be there. We urgently need 12 more volunteers for this event, and I would encourage as many of you to do it as possible. It'll be a really good way to spend the morning. If you haven't done this before, what you do is you go to the Oakland Rotary site, you locate the calendar that's on the site, and you find the date for Saturday, December the 10th, and you'll see that here. You then click this and sign up and register for the event. So I sure hope that you'll join a lot of us there, and look forward to seeing many of you and have a good time there, which I'm sure you will. Thanks very much.
Okay, Keith Urati and Renee Webb, could you tell us about the holiday party and Coke Drive?
Thank you, President Mary, fellow Rotarians, visiting Rotarians, and guests. Oakland Rotary is not just the Rotary of elected officials and community giving and engagement. It is also Rotary of great events. Next Thursday, December 8th, is, yes, one more of those great Rotary events. From 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Fred and Allison Morse are graciously opening their home for a business development community party known as, or called, the Winter Wonderland Mixer, sponsored by the insurance lady, Ruth Stroh. So please go to the Rotary calendar and RSVP. Also, at this great Winter Wonderland event and at the next two Rotary meetings.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. My name is Renee Webb. What we did last year, I don't know if you recalled, we supported a coat drive in which we collected over 300 new and gently used coats, sweaters, scarves, hats, everything. We're doing that again this year, so we would love it if you all would bring gently used or new coats, sweaters, even hats. The hats should be new, gloves. For our families. This year, we're actually going to donate to O'Malley's Family Justice Center, which serves families in need. And so please, please, please look in your closets. If you have the resources, go to the store. I know Miss Ruth last year literally like 15 coats on her own. And so there's definitely a lot of need right now, and anything that you could do would be such a help to these families. And so just looking forward to supporting our Rotarian and outgoing DA O'Malley's Family Justice Center. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we will have big Coke oversized bags at the ballroom next 2 weeks. And next week at the holiday, we're gonna have bags there. So bring the Cokes to the party. If you don't make it to the ballroom, you're going to the party, bring those Cokes along. Thank you. All right. So now, Michael, on December 15th is our last meeting before a holiday break. And there's no better way to celebrate the holiday than to sample cookies. Could you tell us more about that?
Well, thank you, President Mary. Yes, our Oakland Rotary Cookie Exchange is back. We invite you to bring 24 of your favorite holiday cookies to share with everyone in the ballroom. For those of you attending on Zoom, you're going to have to do a virtual cookie tasting. So I encourage everybody to come in person on December 15th. Also, please bring your copies of your recipes. For those who are so impressed by your baking that they're going to run home and turn on the oven. Now, Mary, I've received some inside information about some of the cookies that we might see on the 15th. I'm told that Kimberly Miller, Children's Fairyland, is sprinkling fairy dust on all of her cookies. Now, everyone's heard of chocolate chip cookies. Well, Mark Rosen and Alex Paulson are both bringing cookies with computer chips mixed. I'm looking forward to those. And Alita Scola of Galleria Scola, each of her cookies is going to come in a very small picture frame. And finally, Nick DeHasia of the Oakland Zoo is bringing zebra stripe cookies. So we're going to have something for everybody. The information is on the website. Please start your ovens and we'll see you on December 15th. Thank you very much.
All right. Peter Sheriff, are you online? Oh, you need to speak for him. Okay, yeah, could you, do you have a report from the nomination committee?
How handsome is Ralph Sklar? Wasn't that nice for us online? Fantastic.
Oh. That was-
You know what? We might
Can
be-
you hear me now?
We're working on it, Peter. Give us just a second here. This,
Mary, have Mary do it.
Okay.
yeah, right.
Have Mary do it.
All right. Okay, so anyway, the bylaw states that the nomination committee shall publish a report of the nominees for at least 2 weeks prior to our annual meeting, which is December 15th. However, I'm making an announcement that this report will be delayed by 1 week to next week due to the cancellation of our regular in-person meeting. And so you're gonna wait 1 more week in suspense who will be the new president-elect nominee and the slate of new board of directors. So stay tuned for next week. All right, Joe Garaka, the Rotary Foundation campaign is coming to a close. Can you tell us how we're doing? And I hear you want to share with us about the wheelchair distribution in Monterrey, Mexico. Okay.
Thank you, Mary, and welcome all. Thank you all for finding your way here. It was a bit of a challenge this time, but I really appreciate you making it. So isn't it fitting that we're meeting in such a grand location? The third oldest Rotary Club meeting in a morgue? I'm told that our board of directors is thinking about relocating our regular location here with the idea that maybe they can continue billing us dues even after we passed. All kidding aside, we're in a very historic Oakland location. Ed, thank you for making us home. And why I'm thanking people, I want a big thank you to our AV IT team, Ralph, Alex, Dudley, for making this all happen on such short notice so that we could have a live audience for our speakers. So as Mary mentioned, I want to tell you about a wheelchair distribution, update you on the TRF campaign, and if time, tell you why I donate to the Rotary Foundation. But first, I want to thank Larry Lunsford, trustee of the Rotary Foundation, for joining us. I asked Larry a week ago, 1 week ago, if he would consider stepping in for Rick King via Zoom. He researched our club, found out about all the projects we are doing, came to the conclusion we're a very special club, and he should visit us in person to get us to know better. And see our mausoleum. I'm not sure that was. Larry flew out to Oakland from Kansas City on a week's notice. Who does that? A great Rotarian does that. Yeah. Larry, thank you for acknowledging that we are a very special club and being with us today. Little did you know how special we were going to become. So I was very fortunate to go on a wheelchair distribution to Monterrey, Mexico with 18 local Rotarians and 3 very dynamic lady Rotarians. Some gal by the name of Martha Gorelka, our president-elect Hung Wei, and this character back here, our fearless leader, Mary Young. And they're going to kind of roll through some slides. We were hosted by 7 Rotary clubs. The first night was a grand welcome dinner. Day 1, we visited local projects. They explained a butterfly project they're working on that you might see. I'll explain that picture in a moment. They mentioned a butterfly project that they're working on. You may have seen the monarch butterflies at Pismo Beach and Natural Bridges. This is a different group of butterflies. They fly from Canada down to Mexico. They're on the other side of the Rockies. They found where they land in Mexico because of global warming, the butterflies are landing higher and higher in the trees. They're concerned in the future there may be no trees left for them. So they're putting a project together to put some more trees a little farther back. I thought it was very interesting, and it connects Rotarians from Canada to Mexico. So you may hear a bit more about that. We also visited an addiction rehab clinic. The only commitment, these individuals that were scooped up off the street in what you can imagine, addicted to drugs, the condition they were in. The only commitment they needed to make was to stay off drugs. Shelter provided, food provided, support provided as a way to try to rehabilitate them. They do bake cookies and cakes. One of the individuals tapped me on the shoulder, and the next thing I know, I was making the topping for a Day of the Dead biscuit. I'm not sure I did a great job, but it was really a lot of fun. Day 2, we did a hands-on project. Very, very fun, very impactful. It was a great way to blend in with the local Rotarians, feel good about doing something good, and have fun at the same time. Mary and Bill did painting at a school. Martha and I helped paint a mural. Can you believe it? A mural, kind of a paint by numbers on a wall. A mural at a senior temporary shelter. I want to tell you a little bit about this shelter. I met one of the men there, the seniors there. They scooped up seniors in their 80s, living on the street, brought them into this temporary shelter, rehabilitated them, and tried to find a more permanent situation for them. They told me one of the individuals there had heard his family talking about getting older and trying to find a place for him to go and what the cost might be. He didn't want to burden his family, so he ran away. In any event, they were able to find him and get him reconnected with his family. Day 3, we assembled and gave away the main reason we were there, we assembled and gave away a container of wheelchairs, 280 wheelchairs. It was very touching to see people in real need given access to mobility. That was followed by a closing lunch. There was some tequila, but the bigger thing this year was hot peppers. A local Rotarian grew some very, very, very hot peppers and challenged all us gringos if we'd want to have one or two. I'm crazy, so I tried. I'm not sure if I should say crazy, but our president-elect, or not our president, our district governor-elect, Hung, had 5. Wow. So if you hear me refer to Hung as a hot pepper, you'll know why. Oh, did I mention that this tour was put on by Howard Tours? I think you know Brad Howard and our own Wendy Howard. Thank you, Wendy. We'll see you in Melbourne. So what about the Rotary Foundation campaign? How are we doing? We're at about 70% of our goal in pledges so far. Likely a bit more because RI takes some time to really get it posted. Participation is only about 25 or 30%. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll reach out by phone to try to increase this percentage and give you the, some more information and the opportunity to donate. You should have received in the mail a flyer and a pledge form. You can send that pledge form in to Jesse or me. If you need a pledge form, have any questions, need anything, please reach out to Jesse or me or anybody on the committee. This year, I encourage you to take advantage of our reward program points. First year we've done this. You get double credit up to $500 for every donation you make up to $500. So if you donate $100, you'll get credit for $200. If you donate $50, you'll get credit for $100. If you donate $1,000, you're only going to get credit for $1,500. $500 is the max. But you get the idea, and I encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. Yesterday, we started putting little blue Rotary stickers on member badges. It's sort of a symbolic I donated to TRF sticker, kind of like the sticker I voted. So I'm hoping in January we see a sea of blue in our Rotary Club meetings on those club badges. I want to give a quick shout out to Emma Torrance for your very generous donation, a very new member, very active, and for becoming a major donor very quickly. Wow. So thank you, Emma. So why do I donate to the Rotary Foundation? Well, for several reasons. I'm an accountant, so sometimes it's about the numbers. 91% of donations go to the projects. So very, very low, no overhead. So you know your money is being impactful. Local Rotarians research needs locally on the ground. So it's a very bottom-up approach. We're not telling people what they need. They tell us what we need and we fill it. This, I think, again, is a numbers thing for me. The majority of the labor, planning, oversight is provided by Rotarians at no cost. I have personally seen the good that is accomplished. Martha and I had the privilege of going to Africa last August, and we found a project that the Oakland Rotary Club did. We protected 12 springs in Jinju, outside of Jinju, Uganda. Those springs are still providing clean water. So think about it. For 17 years, day after day, for 12 villages, each of those villages, 1 to 250 people, each of you have provided them clean water. And still providing today. I think you probably heard we're eradicating polio. It's kind of a big deal. I know it's 2 steps forward, 1 back, but that 1 step back, what it tells me is, hey, we need to redouble our efforts, because if we don't, it's coming back. I believe that through our TRF efforts, it is the only way that we are going to bring about world peace. Corny enough to believe, but I do believe we're on that path. And Rotary is taking us those steps, step by step, with many nations involved. Rotary gives us opportunities. We just need to take them. Service, fellowship, professional growth, yes, business contacts too, I encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to improve lives and save our planet. By participating, making a donation to the Rotary Foundation, as Mary would tell you, before December 31st, you get a tax deduction at an amount that works for you. $25 counts for participation and is very much appreciated. Participate because the life most improved might just be your own as you experience the gift of giving. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, for that great, inspiring presentation about TRF and our trip to Monterrey, Mexico. At this point, I would like to invite our guest, Larry Lunsford, to come here because we would like to do some major donor awards for people. A major donor award is someone who has donated cumulatively at least $10,000 to the Rotary Foundation. And I'm honored to award today one major donor award to Shannon Hackley. Please come.
Shannon, what a tremendous pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Being a member for over 30 years, I need to do better than this. So I'm going to donate $500 and get that $500 match.
Okay, now would Joe Garaka come up here? And Martha, together. They're a joint pair.
Joe, Martha, we certainly appreciate, as just referenced with our prior recipient. You know, the recognition is significant. It's not why we give, but it does encourage others when we publicly show, and so it's a privilege to present you with this recognition for your significant, uncommon generosity to the Rotary Foundation.
Thank you.
Dudley, can we take one group picture, including Shannon?
Thank you.
Okay, there
Let's
we
move
go.
away from the box.
Move away from the box. There we go.
I'm not the club photographer.
We love you.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, at this point, I'd like to welcome Ed Jalen, who will introduce our special speaker.
Thank you, President Mary, fellow Rotarians and guests. It is my honor today to introduce our guest speaker today, Larry Lunsford. Larry was born and raised in Macon, Missouri, and serves as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation for a 4-year term, 2021 to 2025. The trustees have elected Larry to serve as vice chair for the 2022-23 Rotary year. A certified public accountant, Larry is executive vice president and chief financial officer of Bernstein Rain Advertising, Inc. in Kansas City, Missouri. Larry and his wife, Jill, have 2 grown children, Trent and Cara. He earned his bachelor's and master's degree in accounting from Truman State University in Kirksville, Missouri, where he was very active in academic, athletic, and organizational leadership pursuits. Larry's passion for Rotary and his invitation into the family of Rotary began during his college years when he was sponsored by the Rotary Club of Macon, Missouri, and selected as a Rotary Foundation ambassadorial scholar in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia in 1982. Larry joined the Rotary Club of Kansas City Plaza, Missouri in 1991. He served as his club's president in 1997-98 and as district governor of District 6040 in Missouri in 2001-2002, and served as Rotary International Director 2013 to 2015. As district governor, Larry helped lead the Missouri Rotarians for New York statewide service project that raised over $100,000 in 2001 for those affected by the events of 9/11. Larry served as chair for his district centennial legacy dinner in 2017, which raised $3.3 million for the Rotary Foundation in outright gifts and commitments. Larry, we could use your assistance here. Boy, $3.3 million, that's a lot of money and a lot of good work. Larry and his wife Jill are major donors, Rotary International benefactors, and Best Bequest Society members. He has been awarded the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service and the RI Service Above Self Award, Rotary's highest honors. Larry enjoys yellow and blue M&Ms, all sports, travel, and collecting sports memorabilia, and waits patiently for the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl once again. On a personal note, I had the privilege and honor of being Larry's aide when he came to our district in 2019, representing the president of Rotary International. We had a wonderful time together, and I can state from personal knowledge and experience, he is definitely one of the good guys. Larry Lensman.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We're stretched far and wide. I want to welcome those that are on Zoom. I'm pleased to be with you today. And while it is true, friends, that I have made a little bit of an effort to be here, I want to acknowledge that there has been an equal or even higher level of commitment to put this Oakland Club 13 meeting together this week. So it's the least that I could do, and it's been wonderful to hear and see and feel and witness the Rotary Club meeting to date. A lot of organized presentations. The executive secretary had sent a run of show. I mean, it's just a really nicely tuned machine, and I'm privileged to be with you here today. And I'm here to support President Mary, and I'm here to support your club foundation chair, Joe, because our topic for a few minutes here together today is about our Rotary Foundation. It's very, very nice to see a couple of significant recognitions be able to be made today as part of a reminder that we're all on a journey in Rotary, right? And we're all on some level of a giving journey as people and giving journeys as Rotarians. And so in these moments, right, we have President Mary Young's participation challenge, right? Everyone is fully aware. Joe has given us the update. And I'm here to try to put a little polish on all these great efforts and try to, in just a few minutes, have us sit back and reflect out of a busy day that we have a wonderful Rotary Foundation that is the charitable arm of our Rotary International efforts. And while you are tremendous members among the 271 members of the Oakland Rotary Club now, and my personal welcome to you, welcome to Rotary. You're also part of a global community, and our Rotary Foundation is the charitable arm that allows us the opportunities like we've already heard about today, and like I know that many of you, and I hope over time all of you, will have a chance to experience. I acknowledge that I am a stand-in today as well for someone that I know you know and love very much, Rick King. And among the reasons, as Joe outlined, that were a part of a quick decision to come join you today, another of those reasons is that I had the privilege along my Rotary leadership journey when I served as district governor in 2001-2002, as Ed just shared, that was the year that Rick King was president. And so I was one of Rick King's governors. And so not only were all those things that Joe said true, and not only all the things that you know about this Rotary Club of Oakland #3, but personally it spoke to me in that moment while I was sitting at my office desk in Kansas City when I got an email from somebody I'd not yet met. And it just meant that this was the place that I needed to be. Now, we didn't know it was going to be in the mausoleum at that time, but it has become that, and it's a beautiful thing. And so let's enjoy our time together. I'll be as brief as I can be with the thoughts that I want to share with you today, because I want to encourage all of you, and I know most of you are. I know perhaps at least one is not yet officially a shareholder of the Rotary Foundation, but I'm going to give you a quick shareholders report because I view each of you as shareholders of the Rotary Foundation, and I hope that you view yourself as a shareholder of our Rotary Foundation. I want to acknowledge quickly, I used the term uncommon generosity with these two colleagues that were just recognized, but there has been some uncommon generosity for a long time in this Rotary Club. I know that this Rotary Club last year was the 11th largest club in giving to the annual programs fund in the world. And I know that's something to be very proud of. I'm honored and inspired to be in your midst, and I know that part of these participation challenges that have, I understand, occurred the last couple of years have been because of at least a person or a few people who are showing uncommon generosity. And so I want to acknowledge that $50,000, as I understand it, that is part of this participation challenge is clearly uncommon generosity. I am honored to be one of the 15 trustees on the board of trustees of your Rotary Foundation from around the world. And it's only appropriate then that I try to give you a quick shareholders report because I want you to know the type of ways and people that you touch when you're touched by the Rotary Foundation. So I want to start by quickly reminding you of something that I believe creates for all of you the kind of faith and trust and depth of feeling about connecting to the Rotary Foundation, and that is that there is a US-based evaluator of US-based charities, right? Charity Navigator. And our Rotary Foundation, your Rotary Foundation, has received the highest rating, which is a four-star rating from this evaluator of US-based charities. The Rotary Foundation has received the 4-star rating for 14 years in a row, which is, I think, something to be very proud of. And that, I think, fuels why you're willing to consider participation challenges and all of these opportunities. I want to give you a quick sense of the scale of the Rotary Foundation. I mean, he did mention I'm a certified public accountant, so I did have to throw a number or two into the mix. But you connect every year with our Rotarian colleagues and those that we can influence to support the Rotary Foundation to the tune of about $400 million a year. So the budget, if you will, the annual scale and scope of what this Rotary Club connects to is about a $400 million annual budget. Very quickly, about $140 million of that is the annual programs fund, which is the purpose of this participation challenge. Every year, money and fuel to fuel the projects every year. You know that we raise $50 million a year for our polio eradication efforts, right? We know that that's matched 2-for-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the most significant external donors that Rotary's ever had. So that's $150 million for polio, $290 total. We raise about $40 million a year in received endowments and expectancies, those that have lived a good life and chosen to leave a legacy through the Rotary Foundation, those that are received. We also get new commitments every year of about $60 million in commitments to the Rotary Foundation. I mean, these are not the largest foundation numbers in the world, but I mean, they do, I think, pause us to say, you know what, this is something of significance that makes a big difference around the world. And then there's some other giving that's about $50 million, which is to particular areas of focus, because you know that we channel our efforts through 7 areas of focus. There's directed gifts that can be given to grants. There's donor advised funds. So there's ways that we facilitate and receive those donations, about $400 million a year. Very quickly, I want to also tell you that our endowment fund, which we're trying to grow, is currently at about $600 million. Your Rotary Foundation's endowment fund has current assets of $600 million, and there is an additional $1 billion in expectancies. Again, we want all those to live a good, full life. And then it's wonderful that they've helped to define their legacy and their Rotary legacy in this way. And I encourage you at some level to do the same. So that's the kind of scale of your Rotary Foundation. I'm going to quickly talk to you about some of the areas where we touch the most significant ways, in my view, with our Rotary Foundation. I'm going to quickly pick up on what Joe said about polio, because we all follow the polio eradication journey. For our new member, Rotary's been about the business of trying to eradicate polio and has been a leader in the worldwide polio eradication effort for about 35 years. And at the time, I don't think we thought it would take 35 years, but it has taken that, and it's going to take maybe just a little bit more. I'm not going to spend any more time on the facts and figures, other than we have 30 cases so far this year. What I want you to know about polio eradication is this: that over the course of 35 years, there have been a number of 5-year strategic plans. 5-year strategic plans for polio eradication, and the world believes that we are in the last 5-year endgame strategy. The plan is at the moment that at the end of 2023 will be the point where we have no more cases, such that a 3-year certification is needed so that there are no more cases to fully certify the world polio free. The thought in the moment is that 2026 could indeed be that year. That is worth celebrating. It's going to take a lot of work. Sometimes we hear that and we think, well, that's still not possible. We're talking about Afghanistan, we're talking about Pakistan, we're talking about speed bumps recently in New York and London and Jerusalem. But all of this is just part of this final effort. And I'm just reporting to you purely and sincerely that's what the world is talking about right now. And we've signed another 3-year extension from 2023 to 2026 with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So they're partnered with us once again, which is fantastic news. So we are on the cusp of that. Someone last night asked me, well, are we ever going to get there? Well, we'll find out, won't we? But we are as close as we've ever been, and I want you to be encouraged by that. I want you to quickly understand globally, before I work down closer to the club level, that Rotary is all about peace. Joe mentioned peace in a little snippet of what he was saying. I think peace is in the DNA of every Rotarian. And I want you to be aware of the current status of our Peace Centers program, which is a growing program. Rotary, 30 years ago, had discussed building its own Peace University. Actually, the building and the brick and mortar and committing to peace in that way. And instead, chose to partner with universities that some of you are aware of, but we partner with 5 universities around the world who are the leading universities in peace and conflict resolution studies. And we partner with them, and we fund 10 scholars every year to a 2-year master's program at these 5 universities. There's one in Japan, one in Australia, one at Duke in North Carolina, one in Sweden, and one in England. 5 2-year master's degree programs. Every year, your Rotary Foundation is funding 50 of those scholars to go around the world. And we've been at that for 22 years. And we've got almost 1,500 alumni around the world. These seeds that you've planted, these seeds that we've planted toward our efforts toward peace. We have embraced that program so much and felt that there was a need to have a shorter program for colleagues who are maybe even further along in their peace journey and peace work, and they are maybe going to benefit from a 1-year certificate program. So we've had for a little while, in addition to the 5 universities, right? In addition to those 5 universities, we've had a 1-year certificate peace center in Thailand. And we are in the midst right now of trying to grow that from one regional one-year certificate program to 4. You may be aware that a couple of years ago, we opened the second one in Uganda at Makerere University in Uganda. These are regionally focused, particularly this one in Uganda is so wonderful because it's kind of meant to be Africans that are selected that will go and be trained at an African university, and then we'll work toward the peace and conflict efforts in Africa. It's not quite that literal, but it's got a little more of a regional flavor versus what I'd call the more global flavor of those 5 universities and the 2-year master's program. Last year, your Rotary Foundation received the second largest gift it has ever received. I already referenced our largest external donor, which is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We received a $15.5 million gift from a foundation in Maine, and it was meant to endow the 3rd Peace Center in the Middle East, North Africa. It's fantastic. It is a wow moment. We've got a task force of the trustees that have just made site visits to the finalists of the universities. There were many universities that wanted to partner with Rotary in that part of the world. There are 3 finalists, 2 in Turkey and 1 in Egypt, the American University in Cairo. And at our January trustees meeting, we have basically 4 trustees meetings a year. At our January trustees meeting, we expect to receive a recommendation from that task force about which university should be the next Rotary Peace Center. This should warm your heart, friends. And we're hoping to have a 4th in Latin America by 2030. So we're on a growth plan with our efforts toward peace. We're on a containment and finalizing plan for polio eradication. And before I leave peace, I want to give you a quick update about Ukraine. So there are those moments, right, where we just have to respond. And many of you responded in many ways in late February and early March after the Russian Federation invaded Ukraine. And your Rotary Foundation said, we need to create a channel, we need to create an opportunity, and we need to do something. And so we took our disaster response fund and we said, let's create grants, and we're going to, for 7 weeks, just take monies that are donated to the disaster response fund and we're going to channel it to Ukraine, right? And you may be aware that we did in 7 weeks raise over $15 million in 7 weeks. And since May 1st, we have been giving disaster response grants. We've now given over 400 of them. They're at a minimum $25,000, trying to help just the refugees and those that were fleeing. And originally we were helping in those neighboring geographical countries as people left. And at the end of the day, we've given over 400 grants in over 40 countries, just trying to be helpful. And we've now, I believe, have committed all 15 million of the commitments. And I just couldn't be prouder to stand before you and say thank you for that particular effort as well. Your club knows about how we utilize these funds with global grants. We basically grant funds, right, as a foundation, and your club is exceptional at utilizing the global grants. You're in countries like Guatemala and Colombia and Kenya and Uganda. I had a chance to look at some of the materials that each club member was sent earlier this month. Fantastic materials. You know, and all of this, fair enough, the bean counter from Kansas City comes out for a day and spends 20 minutes with you. But let me just share with you that in my view, and I would hope that it would be your view, that those are not just idle pieces of paper that somebody in leadership believes you need to see. They are invitations to change the world. And there's a lot of ways to do that, but one of the great ways is to do that through the Rotary Foundation. And my wife and I have our credit card charged every month through TRF Direct. We give to the Rotary Foundation every month, and it ought to be pretty clear why we do that, because as you heard me introduced, I'm not only here today as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation, and fair enough, maybe I've got some obligations at times to respond to emails from people that I don't know, but I'm also a beneficiary representative here today, because We have these wonderful programs. I've highlighted just a few in the short time we had together. But one of them was an educational program back in the day, 40 years ago, when I had a little more hair, called a Rotary Foundation Ambassadorial Scholarship. And I was blessed to receive that scholarship. And I am proud to have been impacted by the Rotary Foundation. And I am thrilled to be here today to say, you know what? It's December. Your club, the Rotary Club of Oakland, is trying to take the next step in its connections in this community. And the Rotary Club of Oakland, Club number 3, is trying to take the next step in its support of this beautiful work that we do in the Rotary Foundation. I'm one of the 15 trustees, and I said to a group last night, you keep us just as busy as you can keep us, okay? Please just keep us, and please consider adding your participation in this month and year by year by year, because the Rotary Foundation is doing great work, and it's a privilege to be able to support that work. And it's a privilege to be here with you today to reinforce what club leaders are telling you about the importance. There are people, it's wonderful that our business is growing, because we're in a business that will never run out of customers that are in need. And so we need to be about the business of raising funds for the Rotary Foundation. And I hope you'll give it your strong consideration. Thank you for your support.
All right. Well, thank you, Larry, for such a awesome speech and presentation. Education is my area of focus this year. The Rotary Club of Oakland is proud to partner with the Oakland Promise to offer 8 $10,000 scholarship annually along with mentorship. We are proud to support many as the first in the family to attend college. In recognition of your presentation today, Oakland will make a donation in your name to the Oakland Promise to support its kindergarten to college program for every child in our city. In addition, I would like to give you a copy of our centennial book written by our own Linda Hamilton.
Okay.
Talking about the first 100 years of Oakland, so you will never forget us.
That is awesome.
And here's a bag so you can take
Thank
us
you so
home.
much. Thank you.
In addition, I want to give you a Oakland Rotary banner.
Awesome.
And you owe me one from Kansas City.
I do. I absolutely do.
You would mail to me because I was supposed to collect all my banners for the year to show my presidency, how far people travel in the world and collect banners to bring back to each other.
I will ensure that we get one to you.
Okay.
Thank you. And the gift to Oakland Promise is awesome.
Right. And furthermore, one more thing. Furthermore, our club has decided to make a $1,000 donation to TRF in your honor.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Thank you.
Can we take a picture for this? I want some pictures for our bulletin. And you hold your book up.
Okay, you bet.
And your banner.
All right.
Okay, we have a banner for you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you to Oakland Club 3. We're going to step away.
Step away from the box.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
It's the best podium in town right here.
President Mary, can I ring the bell?
Oh, yes, you may ring the bell.
I'd like to ring the bell for Larry Lunsford, someone that I'll never forget, and I hope he'll never forget us for his presentation in the mortuary.
Okay. Joe Garata, ring the bell for Larry. Ralph?
The bell for Larry and the mortuary.
Okay. Ralph Scholar, ring the bell for Larry and the mortuary. Dudley Thompson wants to ring a bell. Ed Jellin wants to ring a bell. Ruth Strofe wants to ring a bell.
And I'll actually ring the bell for my ancestors that are buried here.
Rania Webb wants to ring a bell for her ancestor.
That's great.
Karen Friedman wants to ring for Karen Friedman. Okay.
We have a couple online.
Online.
Yeah, Tricia Connors would like to ring the bell for the best speaker of the year.
Tricia Connor wants to ring a bell for the best speaker of the year.
And Lorna Padilla Marcus, ring a bell for Larry and the tremendous team who made this meeting possible.
And Laura Padilla Marcus wants to ring a bell.
Celeste Gordon, I ring the bell for Larry.
Celeste Gordon wants to ring a bell.
Fred Morris rings the bell for Larry also.
Fred Morris, who's the host of a holiday party, wants to ring a bell. Okay. And I would like to ring a bell for Larry for stepping in at the last minute. Okay.
Kevin Hunter rings the bell.
Kevin Hunter wants to ring a bell. Okay, just to let you know the significance, a bell ringer is a generous tax-deductible donation of $100 to our Oakland Rotary endowment.
Excellent. Well done.
All right, Ruth Strove, would you like to tell us about next week's speaker?
President Mary, I'm so delighted to tell you about next week's speaker. In the spirit of generosity that we've heard about today, next week is a very special meeting with a very special speaker. Next week, the Community Service Club hosts our Feed the Hungry Drive, and we are so privileged to be able to hear from Maria Aldrete, the longtime owner of Luca's Tap Room, which recently closed due to some gentrification kind of issues. Many of you have enjoyed time in Luca's. Luca's was a 17-year institution, really the beginning of the reopening and revitalization of the Uptown District of Oakland, a home for many people to celebrate and enjoy. When COVID hit, Maria Aldrete turned the kitchen of Luca's into a place that helped to feed and provide jobs for restaurant workers, and since then has joined together with the World Community Kitchens that's feeding people as far away as Ukraine with Chef Jose Andres. We have our local chapter of the World Community Kitchens here, and today she's in a leadership role, and our community service committee has granted this local organization with a grant as well. So we're very pleased to welcome Maria to the club to tell us so many things about creating food justice in Oakland. Thank you.
Okay. Also, I just want to do one more bell ringer. I like to ring a bell for Ed Braille, who made this place available at the last moment. All right, and I regret to say, but this is a very appropriate environment because before I close the meeting, I regretfully announce that Ed Rourke, our smiling Irishman, passed away on August the 26th, 2022 at the age of 95. And this is a very appropriate area to make this announcement. Well, I think that was a typo error.
We should say happy birthday.
So could we?
Irish eyes are smiling. Irish eyes are smiling.
Okay, so anyway, all right, so at this point, I'd like to thank Latory Howard for the thought for the day, Marlene for joining us as a new member, Keith and Renea for the Coke Drive and the holiday social mixer, Michael Bruck for this holiday cookie exchange, Joe Garaka for the TRF campaign and wheelchair distribution update, and Larry Lunford for the awesome presentation, Ruth Struve for the teaser, and the production team for putting it together last minute. And Tom, you have some more?
Yes, Linda Bosenecker rings the bell in memory of that.
Linda Beck for Ed Rourke? Okay.
I hope so. In memory of Ed Rourke.
All right, and that's Linda Bosenecker. Okay, and who is the other? That's it, okay. Okay, Shannon for Ed. Ralph for Ed. Okay, 3. All right. Thank you. So hopefully next week we will meet again in the ballroom. All right, and we'll keep you posted, but I'm looking to be positive next week in the ballroom. So, share, which means Thank you, and this meeting is adjourned.
My name is Dr. Sophia Yunus. My title is Director General for Federal Directorate of Immunization. And this is the lead of National Immunization Program.
Barrier has been removed, the gender barrier has been removed. To be able to be here as a woman and to be able to meet with the frontline female health workers, to say two simple words to them, thank you.
Thank you on behalf of our PEI program, I thank you.
Frontline workers, amazing team. My name is Zainul Abidin Khan. I'm here working as a national team leader for WHO polio program.
Today we're going to talk about the gender strategy and the importance of this to the polio program. Dr. Sophia, let me start with you first. You've been in the immunization world for a number of years. Is this changing the way that we're able to approach polio?
We found that females were reluctant to be vaccinated by male vaccinators. In every strategy we make and in every activity that we conduct, we ensure that females are part of it. We are enlisting people for promotion, recruiting through headhunting. In immunization program, it started in 1974, and since then the national immunization head was never a female, but my presence speaks it all.
Dr. Zain, as one of our partners, what does it mean from WHO's perspective?
As we follow the GPI strategy and WHO policy to always empower the women leadership. So I have the opportunity as a team leader of WHO. I have a huge team here, and I have the opportunity to actually exercise this policy.
So you're showcasing leadership at the organizational level. We now see leadership coming up from the grassroots. And what do you think the role of female frontline health workers means to our eradication efforts?
As we are heading towards eradication, there are still communities that require female frontline workers. We are trying to get more of them because most of the female workers, when they are going into the community, they need to be secure. So recruiting couples so that the wife and husband or brother and sister, they go together. So for such conservative societies where we struggle both in terms of female vaccinators or the social mobilizers.
Dr. Zain, this is about changing culture, isn't it? And certainly culture in this nation. It's not easy, but are we taking enough steps so far?
Yes, you rightly said it's not easy. And this culture of this country is not easy to change overnight. But this polio program gave us some opportunities. And in this culture, the men are not allowed to go inside houses. So this is giving us opportunity to introduce female more in the team.
The EPI, the expanded vaccination program, and a gender balance is going to benefit from this because there's so many other immunizations that we need to be able to reach. How do you see that affecting what your work is, what's happening in your work?
We recruited a number of vaccinators and we have asked the province to please let us know if you need additional workforce. UNICEF provided us with an opportunity to recruit 250 vaccinators, and out of that, almost all were for female vaccination.
Last thing I want to focus on right now is certainly part of the partnership, but what role do you see Rotary playing in the eventual victory as we cross the finish line in eradicating this disease?
So first of all, Rotary is part of immunization technical advisory group, which is called at NICC. Dr. Aziz Maiman is a part of that. The level of advocacy and the level of penetration into the top government leadership that Rotary brings in, every community level, and the positive energy they bring into international and polio. So Dr. Zain.
I've been working for polio since year 2000, and I worked in several countries, including India, Nigeria. Personally, I believe that we are trying to fulfill the dream of Rotarians to see this world without polio. The support of Rotarians, not only here, everywhere I saw, is more than a partnership. It's generous, and they never say no.
Thank you both for your time and thank you for your leadership and everything that you bring to this effort. It is immensely appreciated, and my sincere gratitude to you both.
Thank you, and thank you for your time, and we really appreciate Rotary International's contribution to polio eradication initiative of Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you.